episode in the concussion series. And in this one, what I wanted to talk about is you've had a head injury, you're still experiencing symptoms, and you start to say to yourself, maybe I should get treated. But how often should I get treated in order to see the most amount of results in the quickest manner possible? So my name is Dr. Matthew Shim. I am the owner of Peak Brain Performance Centers located here in beautiful Colorado Springs. And basically what we're going to be doing today is digging into the literature, seeing what it says, and then extrapolating that data into how we formed a model that I like to utilize when it comes to working with individuals who are post-concussive. So if we were to get in the time machine and go back in time to, let's say, the early 60s and even before, what we'll find is that we used to think that the brain that you're born with is the brain that you've got. So now once I have a head injury, I've disrupted these connections and this is your new brain. These are the new symptoms that you'll just have to live with. And we know that to be false today because of a little something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity in layman's terms is basically your brain's ability to change. And in this article, they define it as the ability of the nervous system to change its activity in response to intrinsic or extrinsic stimuli by doing rehab, by reorganizing its structure, function, or connections. So we know that by doing rehab, we can change the overall connectivity of the brain. So now the question becomes is what can I do in order to provoke and lead to the greatest amount of neuroplastic change and the overall connections of this person's brain? And in this article, they stated that neuroplasticity is often experience dependent, time sensitive, and strongly influenced by features of the environment. So let's break those down. First thing being time sensitive. And in this article, what they did is they took some individuals who were post-concussive and they split them into two groups. And they gave one group 4 hours of rehab per day and the other group 2 hours of rehab per day. And what they found was that the group that underwent the more intense 4 hours per day, they had a greater amount of improvement and faster overall recovery. And if we just think about it, we might say, well, duh, because just like if I go to the gym every day for a month, I'm probably going to see more results and faster results than if I went once a week for a month, right? So same kind of deal. More rehab is probably going to be more advantageous for you in the long run. The next thing is that it's experience dependent. And this falls more on the shoulders of the doctor in the fact that it's my job as the provider to be able to do a thorough exam on you and be able to localize the areas of your brain or your nervous system that aren't working right, and then be able to get a therapy that is targeted at those specific regions in order to have the greatest overall outcome. So just like the thing that I try to get through on every single one of these videos is it's important for you as the patient to find a provider who is well qualified in the world of brain injuries and not just give you some cookie cutter brain injury concussion protocol that they give to every single patient, because every single patient is different, right? And so in this article, what they found was that task-specific training, so basically something specific, a task that is specific for you. So just like if I wanted to get a bigger bicep and I go into the gym and I run on the treadmill, that's going to have some added health benefits for me for my overall cardiovascular health, but I'm probably never going to get a bigger bicep, right? So same kind of deal. So task-specific training at an intense level should be incorporated into the rehabilitation program of any patient. So we know that neuroplasticity in itself is driven by repetition, specificity, and now we know intensity. And so same kind of deal. Let's tie it back to the gym. If I'm going to the gym and I want to lose weight, I can go walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes and I'm probably going to have I might lose some weight and I will definitely see some added health benefits of just moving, right? But I'm probably not going to see as great of results as if I went and ran on that treadmill for 30 minutes, right? So same kind of thing. And so now how we in the functional neurology world and how I like to do things in my office have formed this model that we call the intensive based on this information from the literature. So when you come to my office, basically how it works is I want to start off by just talking to you over the phone. You call my office and I want to set up a phone call just talking to you and making sure a complete complimentary phone call just to make sure that I think that you're a good fit for my office. You're a good fit for what I think that I can do. Then if I think that you're a good fit, I'm going to invite you in for an exam. And we can talk about the exam in another video. But basically, once we go through the exam and I think that you're a good fit that I think I can make some changes with you, I want to do something called an intensive typically. And what that is seeing you for a number of times over a period of a day for a full week, right? And so I like to typically see people for 3 hours per day. And then in the middle of the week, we'll typically do some retesting to see, hey, are we heading in the right direction? Are we making appropriate changes? And what I tell all my patients is that in 3 days, if you're not feeling any better, or there's no objective markers that are changing, so like different bedside testing or stuff that we did during the exam, if none of those are changing and you're not feeling any better, we know after 3 days that we're either barking up the wrong tree or doing the wrong thing, right? And so on day 3, we like to do more testing. We'll redo the testing that we did on the first day during the exam to be able to know, are any of these markers changing? If they are, and they're changing in the positive direction, we know that we're probably heading in the right direction. And then we just continue throughout the week, again, doing 3 hours of rehab per day. I like to do like an hour, take a little bit of a break, another hour, take another little break, and then do another hour. And we like to do that for 5 days. And then on the last day of the last session, I want to sit down with you and go over an exit plan. On the exit plan, it's basically a list of all of your home exercises that I want you to continue doing at home on your own. And basically with that, you're doing another intensive on your own at home, because I want you to do these prescribed exercises probably 2 or 3 times a day on your own. And then from there on, I'll check in with you every couple of weeks over the phone or via email to know, hey, how are things doing? Are we still progressing? If we're not, can we change up exercises? Do we need to dig a little bit deeper and see if things aren't necessarily this path, but they're this path? And that's how I like to do things at my office. So thanks for joining today's class. If you have any questions or have an idea of something that you'd like me to talk about, drop it below, or you can email me. My phone number is also on there. So other than that, I hope you have a great day and hope you're able to learn something.